After winning the U.S. Junior title in 2008, followed by back-to-back wins at Junior Worlds, Adam Rippon emerged as a force on the international skating scene. Touted by many as the total package skater, a series of disappointing performances plagued Rippon in recent years, culminating in an 8th-place finish at the 2014 U.S. Olympic Trials. Rippon showed up at the U.S. Championships last season with a newfound focus and outlook, finally living up to his potential and earning himself a silver medal finish. We spoke to Adam Rippon during our recent trip to Los Angeles. This is our conversation with him on September 25th, 2015.
Walk us through where you are in your season right now. How are you feeling compared to how you were last year at the end of the year by Worlds and going into this year?
Well, I definitely feel like in a totally different headspace than I did last year. I remember being in the rink and just kind of like going through the motions at this point in the year, and ironically I was getting ready for Finlandia Trophy as well. And I was practicing and training and doing all the right things, but like my heart wasn't in it. I didn't know where I was, and I didn't know like what I really wanted to do. And like seriously, like what a difference a whole year can make, because I just feel like I feel a lot more sure of myself and what I'm doing, and I don't feel like I'm skating because I don't have anything else to do, or I don't know what's next. I'm definitely skating because I still want to. And I think part of that kind of helped me. What helped me was I started coaching a bit, and like I had a lesson with someone this morning, and it really was like stress relieving for me, and it's something that I really truly enjoyed, but it was also a way for me to have like a good experience of being on the ice, and it's helped me a lot. And I think also I have a really great team of people that I work with. Raphael, his wife, Vera, Nadia, and my trainer Dennis, who's like always kicking my ass all the time. But I just feel like I think I've readjusted my goals from like trying to go and like win competitions to like just going and trying to better myself every day.
So at what point did that start? Because I remember there was a certain point last year at the Grand Prix where you had a really rough, I think it was France last year, not your best showing, but then you turned it on for nationals. So at what point did things kind of start turning for you?
So I think what a turning point for me was when I went to Finlandia last year. I felt like, I was like, okay, you know, I enjoyed this. But I still, you know, it was an easier event. There was only a few, I knew I was going to be on the podium if I skated not in a blackout. And I continued, and I went to Skate Canada. It was a disaster, and I got there and I felt like I was on the ice at nationals, and I just felt like a deer in headlights. I kind of pulled it together for France, but then after that, that's when I started working with Dennis. And when I started working with Dennis, he would push me so hard in my workouts that mentally I just felt like I was so much stronger. And I kind of got to a point where, you know, I was like, if this is going to be my last nationals, or one of my last nationals, or my last competition, I want to go into it and have no regrets. And like, if I fall on 3 jumps, or if I fall on every jump, or whatever the result, I know that I put in all the work, so I'm not going to be worried about making a mistake. I'm going to go for everything, because I'll be more upset with myself if I held back. And that was my mentality right after the Grand Prix, and it really wasn't until after the Grand Prix where I just like let go of all that doubt, and I was just able to skate, and that's the only thing I focused on. And I think a real test to that was after the short program at nationals.
You were pissed.
I was so pissed.
Talk us about why you were pissed and that.
I remember going through my short program at nationals, and I did a quad lutz, and it was under. I had no steps. I mean, I didn't even like try to like throw an arm in there and be like, transition. I didn't. I did 3 crossovers, a push back, another crossover like Donald Jackson originally had intended it to be, and did it. So I knew, like, you know, hindsight, I know that I was going in, even if I landed a nice one, to get a 0 or a -1. But you know, at the same time, I had some pride that I did a quad lutz, a triple axel, and a triple triple in the short program, and I found myself in 5th place, and the top 3 only did triple triples, and not even cleanly, all of them. And they're great skaters, and like obviously they're like amazing. So I'm not to take anything away from them, but you know, just speaking for myself, I was like, I did a quad lutz, and I'm in 5th place. And I remember sitting there and I was like, you know, I've watched this happen before. Somebody goes out and they skate a pretty nice program and they get 5th or 4th or 6th, and I'm like, they're trying to fade me out right now. I'm in the middle of I was like sitting in the stands as like if skater by skater was going ahead of me, and I was like, oh my God, I'm in the middle of a fade out. Like I'm being faded out right now. And I
was gonna
say they call that the LA fade.
Yeah.
Some people where you're like, I'm not gonna completely like break up with you, but
yeah, but like I'm gonna talk, but bye.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm being faded out, and I was like, I absolutely will not be faded out here. And then I said to myself, okay, Adam, like you would have literally, if you knew how you were going to skate last year at Nationals, you would have been like, yeah, 5th. So I was like, I'm really proud of what I did today. So I'm going to take that and be like, you know, I'm going to do the best long that I know that I can do. I've been training really well. And if I end up 5th after that long, I have to be okay with it, because there's nothing else I could have done. What was I going to do? I wasn't going to pull out any more quads out of my butt. Like, no. It was hard enough to get 1. So I was like, I'm just going to do my best. And I focused on that, and I focused on the quality of each thing one at a time. And it came together. And then another like humbling moment after that was skating like the best program that I've done so far, because I know I have much better ones ahead of me, and getting 2nd, because usually you see those moments and like all of a sudden the stars align, you're 1st, and it didn't happen, and I was pissed again for 1 second, and then I was like, you know what, Jason's had a great year, I'm really happy for him, and I have to be proud of myself, because like I did everything I could, and I'm completely satisfied and so proud of myself, and I'm not bitter at all.
But does it motivate you to win
I was gonna say, in a way,
next
that's
time?
good to be 2nd.
Oh, absolutely. I think what it motivates me is that like to be more level-headed and calm going into my competitions. That like I can't get upset that if I do 3 crossovers a push, a crossover in 30 seconds into a lutz, that like I'm gonna get a deduction. That's like reality. So I think I went back. I mean, there was nothing I was going to do before Worlds. And so I went back and I trained with Raphael, and I just added a Mohawk cross. And like, you'd think a Mohawk cross was like the second coming, because all of a sudden I have steps into a quad lutz. I really worked a lot on adding a few little things here and there to like make up those missing pieces, because I want to be national champion, but I also want to be a world medalist in Boston. And I think like the bigger picture is that like those little things might make it at a national championships, but on a world stage, when you have like Patrick Chan coming back and you have Yuzuru Hanyu and Javi Fernandez is doing 3 quads, like you need to make sure all of your little gaps are filled. And so I think I was focusing more on the bigger picture and my own personal set of goals and plans and what I want from myself. And I think I know just from like my past few months of competition that like if I focus on what I need to do, the results will follow and I can't really worry about them. Because so many times in the past I worried about them and thought like I could control them, and that I was like Nostradamus, but I'm not.
So talk about your quad lutz, because they look clean today. In competition, you do get downgraded sometimes.
Yeah.
You get 10s going into it in competition. I mean, obviously it's a quad lutz. So what is that kind of?
So I would say that like last year when I was doing the quad lutz in competition, it was more like for the thrill. I would probably do maybe 1 clean one in a week. or every 2 weeks, but I was standing up, and what it did for me, it made me feel like I had an edge. No matter if it was under or down, I felt like I had an edge, and I needed that, because sometimes when I went into a competition and, you know, I was doing a double axel in place of a quad, I felt behind. And I kind of felt like almost embarrassed, and like, I cannot believe I'm senior and I don't have a quad. So I had been working all summer with my trainer on cleaning up my rotation and fixing, like tightening up my rotation position, and so this summer is really the summer that I've been landing clean quad lutzes consistently. So I would say that even in competition, you know, I'm an old horse. When you have, like, I saw that little Chinese boy does like quad lutz, triple toe, and a quad toe. Honey, not in a million years.
Well, are you working a second quad? Because we've seen you do a quad toe years ago.
Yeah,
you do one.
I can do a quad toe when, like, the winds are blowing in, like, from the northeast sector. I will randomly do a quad toe, but it's something I'm really working on. And something else I'm really working on is 2 lutzes in a free skate.
Do you do the quad sow anymore?
No, sometimes I barely do a triple sow. I do work on quad flip here and there, but I feel really good, like, tapping with my right leg. I just feel like really strong and like over my right side. So the flip it's here and there, but the lutz is really where I feel like most comfortable.
Hey, if you're gonna have one, that's the one.
Seriously, yeah.
Well, it seems like the last couple of seasons you really took your choreography to another level working with Tom Dixon. So talk about your work together with him. I really enjoy doing choreography myself, and I really enjoy working with Tom, because every time I think, like, we should go left, he's like, oh, I thought we should go right. And so he's always, everything that I would do, he would do the opposite. And so he's always challenging me, and that's what I love, because I feel like I'm constantly learning from him. And he's always pushing me, and he'll always challenge me to kind of get out of my box. And I think he's really kind of stepped up my game. One, because I get to see him a little bit more often. And 2, because we've always had a really open communication about what he likes that I'm doing and what he doesn't like. And with Raphael as well. So we've done some really nice programs together, and I plan on working with him, you know, God willing, that, like, I'm healthy and skating through, like, the 2018 Olympics. But I plan on working with him. My long-term plan is to work with him through that. And you worked with Jeff Buttle as well?
I did, yeah. I wanted to work with Jeff really badly. One, because I love Jeff, he's awesome, and 2, because Jeff worked with Raphael, and I thought it would be kind of like a full circle sort of thing. And I really loved working with Jeff, and he's coming out here this Sunday for a few days, and we're going to clean up my long program a little bit. And I loved working with him, and I would love to work with him again. I think I really wanted to do something to set myself apart, and I think to be, like, 100% honest, I watched, like, Josh's Schindler's List program, and I had always been, like, called, like, oh, he's a beautiful skater, and I watched Josh, but everybody was always like, but Adam does crossovers like this, and I was like, well, yes. And I've worked a lot on it, but then I watched somebody like Josh, and he's a lot smoother than me. So I think when you have 2 beautiful skaters, obviously the one that isn't going like this is less beautiful. So I was like, I need to do something that's different, and that's specifically mine and amazing. So I just had this, like, inspiration to do, and I think what really inspired me was Ashley's free skate was with the words, and I was like, I'm doing all words this year, I don't care. I'll skate to, like, a book on tape, but I am doing all words. And I wanted to do a Queen medley for my free skate, And the whole point of doing the Queen medley was I wanted to skate to Who Wants to Live Forever. And Ashley was like, why don't you just use Who Wants to Live Forever as a short program? And so I called Tom and I said, Tom, I want to skate to this music. He said, I love it. What did Raphael say? And when I showed it to Raphael, he was like, oh, I love Freddie. And I was like, you know him? And then I called Jeff and I told him what I wanted to do, and we went through a few different ideas, and then he came to me and he asked me if I had ever seen Across the Universe. And his idea was that we would mix instrumental versions of the Beatles within actual versions of Beatles songs. And we tried that for maybe a day or two, and then we just added all Beatles songs. And I felt like it's something fun and new, but I have, you know, a nice slower section in there. I skate to Yesterday. So I feel like anybody who is a little bit apprehensive to it at first, there's something for them. There's something for everybody in there.
Could you add a heart on the ice in that?
Yeah, and I want to add like thunder in the beginning and like paint it on the ice. Yeah.
Do you think that the U.S. men, especially when we were out in Colorado, we really thought that the U.S. men, it's completely wide open this year for nationals. So where do you see yourself?
And what is it going to take to win that, elusive?
I think like what I would like to do would be for you guys to come here next year and to tell everybody else that like the field is wide open from second down.
Okay.
And so I would like to close the gap, and I'm focusing more on being a world contender than being a national champion. Obviously, being a national champion is one of my goals, but further than that, I would like to place at the World Championships this year.
And we talked about choreography. So what was it like working with Ashley last year, the two of you personalities together? How did that go?
It was a nightmare.
Explain why it was a nightmare.
Well, I think we're really close, and I will ask Ashley like her opinion on something, and she will tell me flat out if she likes it or not. And the same thing for her. She'll ask me if I like something, and I'll tell her if I like it or I don't. One, because like we're both sassy, and two, because we do have our best interest, each other's best interests at heart, and we only want the best. The hardest thing for me and Ashley was I would show her one thing and she'd be like, no, that's not gonna work. And I'm like, you didn't try it. And so she would try it and be like, no, it's not gonna work. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna end up in jail because I'm gonna kill you. And the year before, I worked with Cindy Stewart because I wanted to do one of my own programs, but I was a little nervous, and Raphael was a little nervous. So I called Cindy because I've known Cindy for a while, and I asked her to help me out. And we had a great time, and we worked really well together. And so I called her and I was like, Cindy, I'm in trouble. And she's like, what did you do? And I'm like, I told Ashley that I was gonna choreograph a short. Here's the thing. Ashley and I had done a short before this, and Raphael never saw it. It was really nice. And we made a short program, and she was skating to the third movement of Piano Concerto No. 2.
You and that music, Adam.
I know, but I never skated to the third movement. Please. And it was beautiful. It was so nice. And Raphael never even wanted to watch it. He heard the music and said, like, no. Yeah, we never made it to the last footwork because all of a sudden Raph was like, I don't like the music, we need to change it. And was like, ah, what? And so then Raphael picked out Spartacus. And so then we were kind of like in a pickle because we had then started working on our second short program. And I think then we were both kind of like, okay, we're down to the wire, we need to get this done. And at the same time, I'm like, trying to spend time choreographing something for Ashley, and I'm trying to train at the same time, sort of. We were just like butting heads because it was getting a little bit stressful. And I called Cindy and I was like, I need you to help mediate this meeting. And I think because Ashley's so comfortable with me, if she doesn't like something, she will just say like, oh, I don't want to try it. But I think with Cindy's older and she never had worked with Cindy, I would ask Cindy to ask her to do something, and she would be more open to trying it and having Cindy like work it out with her. And she saved us, and it was really good for us to like work with her and work through that. But it was really tough. It's really tough choreographing for your best friend, especially when they're hard-headed.
When they're Ashley Wagner.
When they're Ashley Wagner. Mariah was much easier, yeah. I think with Mariah, like we really shined when we did exhibition pieces together. I think when she competes, she holds back a lot because she's trying to be perfect. And I think in the exhibitions, like we picked all of the pieces and all of the pieces that she's skated to for a specific reason and for a specific like emotion. And we did like On a Golden Pond together, and she said that she just wanted to do something beautiful. And then of course like it ends up that she doesn't go to the Olympics and she skates it and gets like this ovation, cries the whole time, and I'm like, this is exactly what I didn't want, but it's so beautiful.
But it's perfect.
And then we did another exhibition that she's skating to the music this year for her short program, the Demons program, and it was just perfect because she had a lot of demons going on. Like it was just, a lot of emotions, and I think something that's missing from Mariah's skating is that no inhibitions when she competes, because I think she's like a stunning, beautiful skater. Especially when we did the programs, I noticed that when she was in practice, she would let go, and then when she competed, she'd try to narrow in that focus. And with Ashley, it was completely different. I would be like, I have no idea what this is going to look like. And then I saw her skated at Champs Camp, and she was just like all over the place in the best of ways. I was like, this bitch. And I mean, that's why, they're both amazing, but like, I was like, that's why Ashley's Ashley, like, because she's a performer.
Looking ahead towards the next Olympics, given your experience at 2014 Nationals, what did you learn from that moving forward?
I learned, I think I have a more perspective now. And I think what I learned was that being an Olympian doesn't make or break you as a skater, or has really no significance on your career other than like I was an Olympian. I remember when Yuna won the Olympics, and we were sitting in the change room at the cricket club one day, and I asked her if I could see her medal, and she was like going through her suitcase, and she oh, here, and like pulled it out, and I was like, I'm holding an Olympic gold medal, and I was like, here, and I gave it to her, and she like tossed it back in her bag, lightly, not disrespectfully. But I was like, wow, her life obviously changed, but really didn't. And I mean, now I know so many people that like are Olympians, and they're no different. And I think it kind of gave me perspective that it wasn't this like, it's just another competition. And so there's some peace knowing that I'm not missing out on like some party. And I think every day in every competition I go into now, I'm like, if my competition ends, if my career ends today, I'm very satisfied with what I've done so far. Everything else is like I earned, and it's a great opportunity. And it sounds like very zen and like peaceful, but it's really my attitude. Because I've been there before when I was in 2010, and I was like, I'm gonna make the Olympics and I will win. And then I didn't make the team, but obviously I was like a dark horse. But and then especially in 2014, I remember going out. You just say all these like horrible cliche things, like you go out and to do your like short program, and you're like, this is my time. And I'm like hindsight, I'm like, calm down. You had a planned triple Lutz, a flip toe, and a triple axel. Like, calm down. Like, no. You should have just like been more in the moment, but I literally was like, this is my like Olympic moment. I'm going to the Olympics. It's do or die. Like, why are you saying those things? You should literally, like, no. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. And I think because I just didn't have like the right perspective. I think that year I was gaining confidence, but I had to have like some external thing happen to like have me not focus on results. Like at Skate America, I did one of the practices and I didn't feel great, and I did a quad toe and I landed and stepped forward, and as soon as I stepped forward, my heel like snapped right off the boot. And it was the day before the short program, and it was in Detroit, so I was lucky because Raj from Jackson, who they're my boot sponsors, they came right the next day and they literally rebuilt my boot that night. So the only thing I was focused on was like my boot and like, will I live? And so I focused on life and not on results, and it worked. And so then my next Grand Prix, I had to get new boots, so I just focused on my new boots. And then all of a sudden, when I didn't have something to like focus on, and it was just like, you're going to the Olympics or you're not going to the Olympics, like people retire after not going, or like this could be the end. I think that's when the pressure was like, I put the pressure on me to deliver. And I think the difference now is that I can retire whenever I want. I know that I enjoy coaching. I know I enjoy working with younger kids. I could retire after this interview, but like, I enjoy practicing, and I enjoy being an athlete, and I enjoy bettering myself every day. And I'm really lucky to be 25 and still doing it, and to be 25 and not only still doing it, but like nobody calls me old, because I feel like I'm always improving. Sometimes it's humbling to be on the ice and, you know, you're with a phenom like Nathan Chen, who is destined for greatness, and you look at your birthdays and he's born in like 1999 and you're born in 1989. Sometimes you're like, wow, I'm not young. But I think I just I'm really grateful for like where I am in my career, and that I really am taking it like one step at a time. Does that mean that I don't have like a long-term goal? Absolutely not. I have a long-term goal of through 2018, but I am taking it 1 year at a time because I'm not putting pressure on myself to do that yet.
Adam Rippon started his 2015-2016 season by winning a silver medal at the Finlandia Trophy, followed by a 4th place finish at his first Grand Prix event, Skate Canada. Adam will continue his Grand Prix season in Russia at the end of this month.